that what these videos were was fake news, effectively, that they weren't what they purported to be and that they were being tweeted by a vile hate group?
I did not know they, to this moment, have been proved to be fake. Have you done an investigation of the Dutch boy being kicked by the Muslim?
The tweet said it was a migrant Muslim, and there is absolutely no evidence found that it was either a migrant or a Muslim. Do you know that? So,
okay, this is the old. No, this is the old.
Okay, so it's the usual. You have no evidence for what you tweeted. Okay, fine.
No, that isn't proving it false.
We've established
if you produce evidence that it's false, I will
evidence.
be happy. We have established that you have no evidence.
You were the one who was tweeting
established. Well, if it's false, I'll say that it's false. But you can't just say, oh, you haven't proved it, therefore it's false. Well, if only you had a multi-million-dollar news investigation bureau behind you, and maybe you could find out. But no, this idea that we won't count how many Muslims are committing crimes, we won't count how many immigrants are committing crimes, and therefore
we're off the point now. Don't worry about that.
Rupert
Huck, why does this matter? Can you explain to Ann Coulter why it matters that the president is tweeting this stuff?
Look, these people have scant regard for facts. They don't ever fact-check their stuff. I think it's appalling. It's unacceptable. It shouldn't go unchallenged. And the thing is, these kind of things have consequences. So, I mean, yesterday in the House of Commons, we launched Islamophobia Awareness Month. And every time these kind of things happen, you hear of hijabs being ripped off girls. You hear of, you know, even grandfathers coming home from the mosque at midnight. In some cases, you know, we've had deaths from these.
Britain bans hate preachers.
Have consequences.
Britain bans hate preachers. It's banned people from America in the past.
Yeah.
Should Donald Trump be allowed here?
No, he shouldn't. And already that visit has been downgraded. It was going to be a state visit. It's now going to be a visit. Whatever it is, we shouldn't be rolling out the red carpet, any coloured carpet. Even if he comes on a visit, he will still be in Downing Street. He'll still be flying the flag. It's completely unacceptable. This man is noxious, and his presence in this country is not conducive to harmonious race relations.
And Coulter, you see the reaction here. The truth is that this is exactly what you want in America, though, isn't it? Because Donald Trump was tweeting this for his own immigration campaign in America rather than the effect in Britain.
No, the same way you're commenting on American politics right now. Every once in a while, Americans are interested in what's happening in Britain. I don't think it is about his domestic politics. Again, you haven't established this is untrue. It certainly seems to be true. We are in the middle of an avalanche of massive violence by Muslims screaming out Allahu Akbar. Certainly, I'm not in favor of hijabs being ripped off, but I think it's a little bit worse to be blown up in the tube or shot up at nightclubs in New York, be running down pedestrians. I mean, look, this has the ring of truth. It's not like it was a video of monkeys performing open heart surgery. You have no evidence that it's untrue. This is how the internet works.
It sounds
People
true.
comment
It has
on
the ring
news.
of truth.
They send things out.
This is extraordinary. I mean, it's like hearing the White House spokesperson saying it doesn't really matter whether the videos are true.
Comical alley. I think we've got comical alley here.
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. Your entire premise for this discussion is it must be false. Well, we have no evidence that it's false. I saw the video. You saw the video. Why don't you find the two of them and prove it's false instead of having an entire discussion just assuming it's false?
The interview with the Dutch website who uploaded the video. They looked into it. The police looked into the incident. There was absolutely no evidence he was either a Muslim or a migrant. You're just making this stuff up. And now you're standing by it because you can't back up anything that you tweeted.
Rotherham police looked into the Pakistani rape gangs, like the MPs.
Well, this is what you always do. You always change the subject into something else. We're not talking about that. We're talking about what you tweeted.
I'm not changing the subject. We are living in a world where the media, police chiefs, the government lie to us about this epidemic of Muslim violence. So, yeah, you have to rely on other sources.
The left has always stood for minority rights, if it's LGBT such as myself or black people such as yourselves. At times where the Conservative Party in this country had campaign posters saying, if you want to live in the same neighbourhood as a black person, vote for Labour. If you don't want to be burdened with a black person, vote Conservative. This was within my parents' lifetime. We had signs around the country, no blacks, no Jews, no dogs, as if dogs and those people were associated in the same thing. We had discriminatory regulations brought in by the Conservative Party against gay people. And now these things are historic, and I accept that thoughts, opinions, and times move on. But if we go right towards the modern day, the majority of Conservative MPs in this country could not bring themselves to vote in favour of same-sex marriage. All credit to David Cameron for agreeing to have the motion put forward, but the House still has a majority of MPs on the Conservative side that cannot bring themselves to support LGBT rights. We had an MP, I think it's Anne-Marie Morris, who was caught on tape just 1 or 2 years ago using the N-word. She was reinstated very quietly after just a few months of having the whip withdrawn. We've had the Windrush scandal. So I guess the sort of thing is, I completely disagree that it's not natural at this moment of time, just one second, I'm almost done, to have minorities such as myself and yourselves naturally vote for parties who throughout history and even recently are sticking up for our rights, have campaigned for our rights all the way through, when even now the main right-wing party in this country...
would you denounce the anti-Semitism? Would you denounce the anti-Semitism in the Labour Party right now? I will let you talk. You've talked for a while. Would you denounce the anti-Semitism and racism coming from the Labour Party currently? Would you denounce it? Yes or no?
That's what's about. Labour can have their own racism.
I'm gonna really kind of give you a really detailed response. But would you denounce the anti-Semitism and racism coming from the Labour Party today? Yes or no? That for me tells you how hypocritical the left are being. Now, as you said, a lot of these things are historical, and I don't think I should be bound by the actions of people 200 years ago, 400 years ago, and what I do today.
That's exactly right.
Okay? I can't speak for the LGBT community, but as you've said, David Cameron was one that introduced the gay marriage bill to Parliament and pushed it through, but people have different opinions on these things. I think they're entirely entitled to them, but that's different to saying LGBT rights. And